Hello everyone. This is my first test in a larger silicon mold at a resin lace effect, but unexpectedly I created two different resin effects in this geoda tray. On the edge I got a nice silk effect and in the center the feather effect. So it was totally not expected, but yeah, we can't control resin totally. So it isn't a problem. So you already saw that the resin temperature was 27 degrees. And now I'm going to add 22 gram of resin into my paper cup. I need a little bit more because this mold is larger. It's 25 centimeters. And I'm going to add 10 drops of white pigment paste. There you can see it. And it's my own pigment paste. It's the Moonlight White, and you can find it in my Etsy shop. The link to it is in the description below this video. There you can see it. And we want this to be really opaque. Going to mix it together. There you can see it. And now I'm going to pour a line against the edge. There you can see it. And this is a really nice silicon mold. As you can see, it has a nice edge. And this silicon mold is from Molds and Shapes, and it's their Cascade Geoda tray. And I really love the edge. It has 3 rims, so I'm going to pour against the first rim. There you can see it. And I will do more tests in this silicon mold with different temperatures and different colors on the edge, because there are people that don't like the white edge, and I understand that. But yeah, what I mentioned in the beginning, I've got totally different effects. And yeah, what can influence the effect that you want to create? And what I experience is that temperature is very important, that you have the right temperature. And in my case, it's 26, 27, maybe 25 also, but not higher. And also the pigment paste. Yeah, I use my own, but there are people that use different pigment paste, but that can also affect or influence the effect you want to create. Now I'm pouring some clear in the center and then to the outside to push the white against the edge of the silicon mold. And then it can flow on top of the clear resin. But also how much you need to pour of this clear resin into the center is also an influence on the effect. If you pour too much, then the white or the color on the edge cannot flow on top of the clear resin. So yeah, that is also a very important factor in what effect you want to create. So the first color I'm using is from Etter Art. It's a resin ink and it's called Campery. And what also is important is how white the white line is, or a different color. Because if it's too small or too thin, then you also get a different effect. So there are a lot of factors that can change the effect that you want. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. So the second color I'm using is also from Ether Art. It's a resin ink and it's called Mango. So all the way around. And the third color also a resin ink and it's called Amaranth. So all the materials I use in this video you can find at the end of the video, but also in the description below this video with a link to the websites. Yeah, this is the mixture I use for the center. I used four different materials. The first one is a glitter flake and it's called Very Violet. It's one of my own also in my Etsy shop. The second one is a mirror sand Black Knight and a metallic rust glass in the color Bright Gold, but also in the color Bright Silver. There you can see it. I put those materials in a paper cup, a little bit of resin, and then I add it into the center. There you can see it. Yeah, so there are a lot of factors that can change the effect that you want to create. But yeah, I will do more experiments with what I mentioned with different temperatures, but also different colors on the edge and how uh, f- uh, white the line will be on the edge. Then we can see the difference. So if you experience that your resin doesn't move that much to the center, then you can help it a little bit by adding heat. And I add heat at the moment, but from up high, not too close, because then you will disturb the effect that you want. So from up high, I add heat on top of the resin, and then it will make the resin a little bit more liquid, and then it can flow to the center, but also create some nice effects. So this is right after pouring, what I mentioned, create nice effects with heat, but I already know that this effect will not stay because the resin will flow to the center and then this effect that you see now in the purple and in the orange colors, that will be gone. Sometimes I find it a shame because this effect is really pretty. There you can see the white on the edge. It looks nice, but it will change for sure. So this is how it looks after 2 hours of drying. And what I mentioned, it changed a lot. There you can see it. I can see some color from the other side of the geoda tray, so that's great because that's what I want. But yeah, on the edge, there you can already see the silk effect. That's what I call it. It looks like silk fabric. If it's called differently, then please let me know in the comments. Nice center. Yeah, looks pretty. Nice colors, nice effects. So I will let this dry for 24 hours and then I will take it out of the mold. Yeah, it's 24 hours later. Now it's time to take the Cascade Geoda tray out of the mold. What I didn't show you, I added a clear layer of resin to fill the mold. So, and now it's time to take it out. I can already see the nice effect on the edge, and I call it the silk effect, but it really looks like silk fabric. This side is very pretty. Now the other side, and the edge is beautiful. So if you're interested in this silicone mold, the link to their website is in the description. And there is a promo code. I have several. If you're curious, please check out the description box. This is the other side. Really pretty. And in the center, there is some feather effect. Yeah, I got some feedback from some people in the comments below my previous video. Oh no, two videos. And they mentioned it was called the feather effect. I didn't know that. I thought it looked like hair, animal hair. I will add a link to that video in the right corner. But so they mentioned it was called feather effect. So that's what I'm going to call it from now on. Well, thank you so much for mentioning how the effect is called. This is the end result. It looks really. I love these colors. They are very bright, and I love the effect on the edge with the lines that go from the outside to the inside with the nice silk effect. And the center is also very pretty. A little bit closer there. A great depth. Try to show you the depth. It's very difficult. There you can see some feather effect. It's not lacing. Totally not. What I mentioned in the beginning, I wanted to create the lace effect. But yeah, I got a totally different effect. But I will try again and then see if I can create this effect again because I like it very much. So this is the side how I poured it, also very pretty. Yeah, very nice. So let me know what you think of this Cascade Geoda tray and in the comments below this video. And if this effect is called differently, please let me know. All the materials I use you can find in the description. My promo codes are in the description. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That would help my channel a lot. I want to thank you all for watching and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!